flood advisories going for East Broward and Northeast Miami-Dade. I'll get into the rain aspect coming up a little bit later in the show. But for now, I just want to take a look at some of the current wind gusts we're seeing out there. And winds aren't gusting to tropical storm force. What we can tell you is that Miami-Dade is no longer under a tropical storm watch. That was dropped earlier today, so we're not expecting tropical storm force wind gusts there. But Broward, especially northern areas of Broward, we may get into some tropical storm force wind gusts later tonight as the core of the system pulls closer, and also as we get caught up in some of the rain bands that could wrap down around into portions of Broward County. So this forecast model around 10 p.m. to the midnight hour is showing winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour near Fort Lauderdale. That's what this model is showing. But for my forecast, I'm letting you know that we may get into winds that gust 40, maybe on the higher end 50 miles per hour, depending on if we can get into some of the stronger gusts within those bands. Now, here's just a look at what we'll expect for tonight and into Thursday. The system makes landfall, then heads over toward the other side of the peninsula. We'll take a closer look at this in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and bring in Michael, because we know that
give me a moment. I'm trying to get you set up.
Of how the winds could ramp up, but also the coastal flooding that's happening out there.
I need to pay my phone bill.
It is bad.
Actually, I'm not going to pay my phone bill because I will get my phone bill for free today.
And then the waves
I say,
I
mean that shit. I'll be doing that shit every month.
Take a look at the CAT satellite picture this afternoon. One thing that we've seen today,
one thing we gonna do
is
to speak the truth
remains convectively active.
Because we are the
showers and thunderstorms fire up near where the circulation.
Alright, so first off, I wanted to say, there's clouds up really heavy. They're blocking out from me because of my carbon footprints that I put in the ground. They try to do shit during the nighttime sky. That's why you don't really see much of the moon. If you can raise the frequency or just catch the area in the region, you would notice when it's clear or by the moon, there's jets going past it trying to chemtrail it up. They don't like lasers, green ones, right? I think green beams actually, I'm not gonna say that. That's just a hood experiment for yourself. Alright, so I suggested. Alright, so the reason I made this video, right? Because I ain't been on my shit. And I got some sauce for y'all. But I did make a video, right? While I was with someone. I knew I wasn't trying to hear that shit. But like, God gave me a frequency, and that frequency tuned me in to this, because I know the enemy now, and I'm tired of this enemy. These fake clouds, right? These fake clouds is causing natural disasters and diseases, depending on your metaphysical body. Alright, I made a video. I just didn't put no voices to it, and I would like to go further on it. Alright, so just give me a second as we get started. I got a whole bunch of videos of the moon, bro. I woke up like 4:30. Went to go smoke a blunt. And I was like, hold up. I actually woke up for this shit. Let me see if I can get it. And literally, like, yo, I didn't think my two eyes would just see it regular. Like, I thought I was gonna have my camera, bro. That shit was dope. The energy definitely increased. For real, for real. I'm not saying that off of When people say I'm saying that off of being outside, even the leaves will follow you because they realizing the life force in you. You see all types of spirits dancing in the parking lot, doing tornadoes and leaves and shit. God realize what be going on around here. Alright, so that's crazy, bro. I think I named shit on accident. I didn't realize what I was doing. Cause I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch it this job. But let's just go. Let's just do this. Just about done, I believe. All right. So victory, right? If you look in the variant video when we was talking about what the letter V means. Oh shit. Yeah. In the variant video, I told you what the number V means. Alright? Let me see if I got my book. Cause all this shit ties together, y'all. It might sound like it don't. For the ones who say it don't, just stick with me. Cause I was the same way with self. Like, I'd be like, cause I haven't wrote notes. I used to make notes look good. You feel me? Like I had nice handwriting. You feel me? And then I used to write tiny so I could fit everything in the lines and shit. But me as a note taker, I remember my notes helped me pass tests if I had my notes. If you took all the notes down, you would pass that test because it was the outlining of it, right? So, damn. So the whole time, God was giving me the outlinings of things so I know how to operate. But in this body, you have to break the old habits in your habitat, right? Habits that don't serve you or your habitat, right? So, that being said, let's go. Alright, so victory, right? Victory. An act of defeating an enemy or opponent in a battle, game, or other competition. Let's repeat that again. Read it to yourself right now. Give me a second. Read it over and over again if you don't mind. Self reflection. Yeah, read that shit again. Nothing wrong with reading something over and over again. Because if you sit in there like, there's nothing wrong with seeing this shit all over and over again. Because if you sitting there saying there's something wrong with that, then obviously you didn't get it yet. You need to let your conscious, your subconscious take control of that thought. Rest your conscious, because you shouldn't have to think. Alright, so boom. I'm saying like you just don't know it, but that's the thing. You don't have to think when you're in the knowing, because the knowing is your subconscious. Alright, so boom. Uh, You go on this video on YouTube, I advise you just to turn your volume down. Alright, so boom. Let's go back from the beginning. I really should have did this when I got home. Add some voices to it or something. But other than that, this video on YouTube is straight reading. So when you read what I was trying to show you, and now you see what's going on, I'm trying to teach you this house because they keep deleting me before it gets one view. Like, I literally got this house on the clouds. Bill Gates know, or whoever his little cousin or something is. Anyways, let's get back on this shit. Alright, so let's just start back at the beginning from the breakdown of SARS-CoV-2, because this ties into it, right? Because all this shit they be doing pretty much with graphite, which is pretty much like sand. The graphite is tied to graphene. With the because graphite, the way the host is charged is like different elements to even make the graphite. The quartz is one of them. So peak game. So SARS-CoV, they say it means a severe acute respiratory syndrome. It's a virus that causes respiratory illness in humans. Alright, it's a combination. So SARS-CoV, right? So look, when you see SARS-CoV-2, it's SARS-CoV-2, right? Then they got another one, SARS-CoV-2. Like, them hyphens is breaking it down in syllables, right? But me, I'm gonna use my own eye. So look, so SARS, the S in SARS, the S makes SAR plural. So SAR is just the prefix. Alright, so boom. So you take the hyphen out and the S out, now you got SARS-CoV. So SARS-CoV is actually a prefix used meaning flesh, often used in medicine, uh, biology, and especially pathology, because those three in my eyes, you got biology, biochemistry, and yeah. So biochemistry is the drugs, biology is the study of life, pathology is how it connects to your cells, right? It's all, man. This is the transition. This is kind of all right. Let's get it. All right, so boom. So now that you know what sarco means as a prefix, is a combining form used like a prefix meaning flesh, often used in medicine, which is the drugs, which is or biochemistry, biology, which is the study of life, the study of you and nature, and especially pathology, because their goal was to create pathological blood destruction. So as cellular subdivision is going on, is actually they want to do the reverse. They don't want it to rise because your cells aren't supposed to die. So if you got your physical in the right balance, your cells can rise. But low key, your physical could be in the right balance, but your mental's not. So low key, you can still be in that loop between heart and root, which is not getting to your crown and your thinking. It's like 50-50. So like at certain times until you're in a good mood, because your good moods are really your spirits, right? Like say say I say the spirit is like your conscious, and then your soul is your subconscious, the thing they were trying to block you from you. So the thing is, like say you in a good mood or you in a bad mood, you got good spirits, bad spirits. Where did that come from? Your perspective of thinking or how you seeing shit at the time, right? And what's going on is a lot of junk is getting cleaned up, and the twins are starting to talk, right? One twin is showing the other twin what the fuck you ain't been thinking about. So when twin meets twin, when they come together, because that's the only way they leave this realm, they have to come together. But when they come together, not in fear, because the fear is tied to your soul. When you're in fear, it's tied to your soul, not your spirit. But it will manifest in the physical through your spirit, or through the way you think, right? So I'm getting off topic. Anyways, all right, that's what we're gonna topic. We'll get off topic. So that victory, right? Let's go back to victory. Victory, an act of defeating an enemy or opponent in the battle of the game or competition. All right. So break down Sarko is a combining form used like a prefix meaning flesh, often used in medicine, drugs, biology, the study of life, which is you, and especially pathology because of pathological blood destruction. In other words, medical terms, their words is called lysis, right? Lysis. My bad, I said it like that, but that's what it's on. Oh shit. Oh, bro. Come on, man. Alright, so medical term lysis is pathological blood destruction, right? So V, V, victory is part of V and SARS-CoV because it's a syllable for victory that they used to use in World War II. As we're seems like we're going into a World War III because all the world wars were against us. I repeat that. Let me get a video. All the world wars were against us, the people, right? Through genocides and new teachings from whatever the fuck they be studying, because they know, they just don't want you to know. So they gotta turn you against self. Because how would you stop a God? How would you stop God? The answer would be like, you can't. But how would you do it momentarily? You would turn him against himself, trying to make him weak, keep him in his root, because mentally that would destroy you physically. Because it's fucking with your cells. It's a weapon used for metaphysical things, right? Anyways, alright, so let's get to the V and the meanings of V. V means variable. Variable means variant. You see? V means variant. V meaning variable. Variable meaning variant. So, you being a variant because of subcell division. Alright, moving on. V stands for 22nd. Right? V stands for C. V stands for value. V stands for impersonal names. V stands for transformational grammar verbs, which is powerful words you speak into existence, which are vibration. Alright, so B means 5. B means electric potential. B means WW2, World 2, symbol of victory. Symbol of victory. This war shit by the mark my words. Whatever they got storyline with the war, it's coming to an end very soon. On motion pictures, coming very soon. You know it. It's like that. But look, alright, so B also stands for Vatican City International C car registry. It's not CAR car. It's CAAR car. Never noticed I wrote that. This is all last year downloads that was meant for this year. What car mean? Car. Oh, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, bro? I'm sorry for my language. I gotta chill on that, 'cause I don't know who you might be around and what you might not want someone listening to. But at the same time, I should have made that disclaimer because I don't want to feel. I'm not. That's the thing. I don't want to feel bad, so I'm not going to feel bad for something that happens that I know that will happen. Even if it's a mistake. You feel me? So, like, just know. That's why you just know, most likely, I'm going to say some profanity, not curse words. I'm going to end up using profanity because I speak against witchcraft. So, let's get it. Alright, so V stands for variable, which is variant. V stands for velocity, volume of gas. V stands for 22 or 22nd. V stands for C. V stands for value. V means personal names. V stands for transformational grammar verbs like 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 speaking into existence, like I said before I repeated this. Look, 5 equals, I mean, V equals 5. V equals electric potential. V means World War II. V means vector, vein, ventral, verb, versus version. And version is another word for variable and variant. V stands for volume capacity, volt, and a chemical called vanadium. I keep seeing this shit, and I was thinking I was on some shit when I first read. Like I wrote this like last year, August, like August, September, because it started off with Delta. That's how I know Delta is the FBI fucking code name, because Delta is the name for radio communications too. All this shit is in code, so I just want to help show you the code, cause I don't know, like a lot of people don't be wanting to hear this shit, but the shit hurt my goddamn feelings, bro. You didn't cry, bro. You didn't cry because you knew people were. I mean, actually, I ain't gonna say that. You might did, but I don't know, bro. This shit feel different for me, bro. Like I ain't saying I'm no different from nobody, cause I'm just saying like that shit hurt, bro. Every time that shit hurt, but that's why you have to have shadow work. Shadow work. That's what I realized. Shadow work really is not an action of doing. It's an action of doing. It's not something, an action of thinking, because it's every second of the day. Literally every second is always things that come that you might be attached to mentally, right? Which fucks with you physically, or be things that you're attached to physically, which fucks with you mentally, because they're twins. It's like if one fucks with the other, that's what it's on. And then the left side of it is twins. That's what like Gemini stands for in my eyes. I'm a Gemini, but Gemini is like, if you look at the sign, it has a U going up and a U going down. In my eyes, that stands for above and below. The two lines in it is a parallel. It's parallel lines. So I started thinking about the grid. It's a cross, but we're on a tilt, so it would have to be an X. So, but the tilt started getting like a little different on an elliptical orbit when they said the poles were shifting. So that's when it was shifting back to the X. But I saw above, saw below. Gemini actually has two suns. It's white and blue, and it's really in the Orion. It's I think it's really called like the Summer Triangle or some shit. But Orion, like that's what I'm saying. Looking up Delta actually taught me about astrology, like above. That's what I started looking at. So it's like Gemini is like right beside Sirius. It was close on the west, on the western hemisphere of it, or the 9 o'clock position. It's Sirius, then you got Orion, then you got Betelgeuse, Canis, Minor, Major, whatever. And they're all like right there. And you got the Rogue constellation, which is the opening of the firmament. Like they be making fake photos of Sirius and say this is Sirius, but really that be constellation Rho, RHO. Maybe well, they talked about Romans or we got the idea from something from the Rho, like because the Rho deals with the ox, I believe, and you know where they be sacrificing and shit with the oxes and the cattle and stuff. Was for Zeus and shit like the Olympics and media and all of that, like you see in your present day things still. So, all right, so V stands for victory, but they made that victory for World War II. So, medical science, venous blood, which is like venomous blood. Venous. I ain't gonna speak on that right now. But yeah, V is the element symbol for vanadium. I mean, yeah, vanadium voltage, and is abbreviation of volume. So I'm telling you to tell you to remember those. And remember, sarco is a prefix meaning flesh, often used in medicine, which is biochemistry, uh, biology, which is the study of life in you, which is you, um, pathology, which is medical term lysis, but it stands for pathological blood destruction because of the red blood cells beginning to die off in your spleen. And spiritually, that's connected to your solar plexus. All right, so let's get back to it. And your solar plexus is your soul. All right, all right. Well, part of what is like that is like the sun connection, like your life force connection. All right, so boom, sarco meaning matas or mas is a combining form used like a prefix meaning flesh. All right, so sarcoma is a word they use, right? Any of the various malignant tumors composed of neoplastic cells. Neoplastic cells. Any various malignant tumors composed of neoplastic cells resembling. Keyword resembling. Let's see if it pops up on here so y'all can see it with me. It might not. Let's just be changing. Sarcoma. Alright. Alright, let's get back to it because it's gonna take too long. Alright, so sarcoma. Any various malignant tumors composed of neoplastic cells. Neoplastic cells resembling. So they got something called a xenobot that resembles your cells and helps a T cell try to get down with your carbon links and your hydrogen links. Those are your tetra. Remember the word tetra. It's real like tetrahedron, tetraoxidant. These are words you can write down. Tetrahedron, tetraoxidant, tetra by itself, tetracovalent bonds. And if you got some more, just keep it going. Biology, pathology, biochemistry, chemistry, science, math, all that. Look up the meanings. It ties all to this. I hope you see what I mean, because it just makes everything make sense. Well, it's just another piece of the puzzle. Really, there's more pieces of the puzzle. It's just another piece of the puzzle. So look, alright, so sarcoma, any various malignant tumors composed of neoplastic cells resembling the embryonic connective tissue. A malignant tumor originating from the mesodermal tissue such as fat, muscle, or bone, compared to carcinoma. Carcinoma is compared to carcinoma, a cancer arising in the epithelial tissue of the skin or of the lining of the internal organs. This cancer begins in the skin or tissue that lines or cover internal organs, your chakras. There are different subtypes, including bleep, 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 basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and transitional cell carcinoma. Untreated squamous cell carcinoma of the skin can destroy nearby healthy tissues, spread to the lymph nodes or other organs, and may be fatal, although this is uncommon. This risks aggressive squamous cell carcinoma of the skin may increase in the cases where the cancer is particularly large or deep. That was a good one. See that highlighted? I don't know if you like writing notes. Write those notes. I don't got it written down. But yeah, I would say, yeah, write the highlighted because it's going to come and it's going to make a whole paragraph. So look, what's the difference between cancer and carcinoma? Carcinoma is a type of cancer that forms in the epithelial tissues. Hood scientist, doctor, we gonna get to the bottom of this right now. For sure. For sure. Alright, so let's get it. Alright, so epithelial tissue membranes. Okay, so we're still in T cells still. Epithelium is a type of body tissue that forms the covering on all internal and external surfaces on your body. Just shut up. Major tissue. Boom. The epithelial tissues are widespread throughout the body. They form the covering of all body surfaces, line body cavities, and hollow organs, and are the major tissues in glands. They perform, they perform very variety of functions that include protection, secretion, absorption, excretion, filtration, diffusion, and sensory reception. What type of cell are the type of cells that cover the inside and the outside of the surfaces of your body? They are found on your skin, blood vessels, and organs, including your urinary tract. Is this the ether? Cause, hmm, cause this is what I figured out, bro. It ain't really been this hair thinning going on. It ain't really been from fucking genetics for real. It's been from the damn government, bro. Attacking the epithelial area. I just feel like epithelial deals with like hair in some type of form. If I'm wrong, please tell me, cause I really don't. I mean, like if I'm wrong, then just tell me. But like, bruh, cause look, it be the clouds, bruh. It be the clouds, bruh. It be the clouds, bruh. And the water, bruh. Clouds and the water. If a nigga don't got no juice or soda or whatever they teas, whatever they be drinking to please them, they don't go to that water. That good old water. But if they don't have water bottles, which is still get manipulated, you keep messing with the water. It's the water. And the clouds, bro. Different states of hydrogen, carbon. Really is like the five natural elements. I should be able to tell you right now. For real hood scientists. But look it up. Um, let's get back to what I was saying. So sarcoma, various malignant tumors composed of neoplastic cells resembling embryonic connective tissues. A malignant tumor originated from the mesodermal tissues such as fat, muscle, or bone compared to carcinoma. Sarcolactic acid. You know, like, the only reason, like, say if you was get hangovers and you was drinking and shit, the only reason you get hungover is because the food that you eat. And most of the time, that's something that pops up in your head, be like, oh yeah, I ate this. But that's something you always eat. And you only ate it anyway because, it puts you in a good mood, makes you want to drink. But your dumb ass be knowing it's gonna make you sick, but you're not thinking of why. Or like, it's really because the food is not food for you. It's not medicine to you. So it doesn't have a fast release. Like say if you was to take if you take prescriptions, they give you white, yellow, uh, green, then you got your blue and your peach colored ones. Those are like the, the weaker ones. But all of those colors have meanings to them. For example, like white is fast release, yellow is extended release, right? So sarcolactic acid is like a yellowish color because it sits it sits longer wherever the fuck it is, most likely in your gut or in your heart chakra or things getting in like your backbone, like your spleen, which makes you feel a little weak, make you want to go to sleep because you're sitting on your spinal cord fluid. Like that's why like it's good to actually sit on your butt, like old school people used to say. You need to sit on your butt and shit. So look, this is good for your so your airflow is a cycle, it's a delta cycle. You see your nose, it's a triangle. Remember why I be saying delta? Then you got one right here for your ears, to your eye, another one sideways. Whole time this. Uh, it's like a time hourglass. Because really, that's what magnetism is. And if you was to draw a box around it, it would make that. Like two magnets, one up, one down, omega up, omega down, type shit. Alright, so look, alright, so sarcolactic acid. That's it. That be a lot of that acid you throw up when you get sick, or that be having you feel lazy and not wanting to do shit with your life. Um, and a lot of that be in your foods. Make heartburn because it's not dispersing when you eat it. It's not a fast release. It's an extended release. And if you're not eating right to even digest that, you just put more and more, it starts to sit. So because that's what the vegetables do, it purge the system, and the fruits actually clean up the acid, like uh, like carpet cleaner, like bleach on the goddamn carpet, something like that. So boom, but not bleaching it off color, but actually it brings it back to color, so it's original color, and then that allows your cells to move in your body the way it's supposed to because it's four states of you. It could be a state of you of plasma. I mean, you have it in you, right? So, because that's the thing, they're trying to make your state of body into a solid, right? And the same things that's tied to the, oh my gosh, wow, yeah, same things that's tied to them statues actually dealt with graphite, and that's actually tied to limestone, which we're going to get to with the sarcophagus. So look, or sarcophagus, however they pronounce it. Well, however they pronounce it. So look, sarcolactic acid is an isomeric form of lactic acid produced by the muscle tissues during anaerobic metabolism of glucose. My bad, it's just the way I wrote this shit. As the sarcolactic acid liberated in the muscles is not oxygenated, a condition of acidosis is an issue. Check out Yaki Awakening. You can go in on the acidosis and how the foods actually deal with that. because the next pandemic is the flus. But the thing is, for the one they know niggas they ain't take the shot still. So it's like they gotta come at you a little harder, so then put you in fear to make you think about taking it. So look, they're gonna cloak up the clouds some more, right? That's why you have to ground uh, throughout the day, especially when it gets sunny. Just start putting your footprints, your handprints everywhere until it arrives. Be the sun that's knowing the part of a cycle. This your shit. This your dream. If you was in a dream, then you keep dreaming to me now. But I'm with you, Nick. I'm with you, Nick. Hey, this our dream, Nick. We in the cosmos or some shit right now. How we saying we here going to the cosmos, bro? So that's what we doing right now, bro. Like niggas be saying, wake up, wake up, wake the fuck up. That shit crazy. Then we wake the fuck up. Damn it. So look, alright, so that'd be like, alright, well, you know, it's like certain things you do before you go to sleep. If you haven't noticed, you notice that shit in your dream, but you be coming back. Like me, I used to pee, right? That's why I know when little homie be peeing in the bed. I was like, yeah, you you was dreaming about peeing in the toilet. He was like, yeah. I was like, next time, just when you remember before you go to sleep, when you see that, that means get up. You know a little better with the bathroom and stuff. Look, alright, so, man, never thought about it that way. Look, alright, so Sarko, oh yeah, back to the sarcolactic acid. But yeah, check out Yaki Awakening. He can help you about the herbs and the supplements and stuff like that. Well, the fruits just teach you like, I mean, just go into detail of the process of what happened. Because really, it's like hitting. Say someone hit the reverse card while you was playing Uno, and you ain't like that shit. So what you do, you you got your reverse card, reversed it back. Now it's in your play, the way you want to do it. So it's like that to a certain extent. So boom, back to oh yeah. So the thing is with the sarcolactic acid, like people been getting a lot of muscle pains in their leg, in the back of it, real tight, because it's something that's blocking it right there. But the thing is, it's so above, it's so below. A lot of that has something to do with what's going on above, right? And once you think about it, say when you run, you be moving your arms. Yeah, you be on your legs and stuff, but you move your arms the same way. Um, it's in motion, togetherness. Unless you're just running with straight arms by your side, looking goofy. But low key, that would kind of open up your sinus. Anyways, um, but it's better to run like that. All right, so thing is, your legs, what you feel in your legs is dealing with your sinus, your your lymph nodes, the lymphatic system, right? So in my eyes, it's not like the DNA. It's not like a snake. It's Z's to me, like Z's. Boom. And that's how they try to copy with the down, copy the shit with the down AI technology and shit because they're copying shit. It's even like gold. Feel me? Just look at your technology. Feel me? Like TVs and all that shit. It's like circuits that come together. Words that alright. You guys do. Alright, so boom. Sarco is a sarcophagus. Alright, so boom. Alright, some shit called sarcophagus. It's a stand coffin, especially bearing sculptures and inscriptions of displayed. Let me restart that because that was a little bit sound a little slow right now. Let's get it. Alright, so it's a stand coffin, especially bearing sculptures and inscriptions of displayed as monuments in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. So that's like uh your monument, DC, New York, Paris, uh UK, all over the goddamn world, right? Shit they've been trying to take and then mimic or put and then make duplicates, put it in another place. The whole time sitting in one little fucking area, and they're just trying to study it. Like, it's not made for y'all. Fuck, nigga. Anyways, uh, not to be confused with the related word sacro. Sounds like sac, sacral or sacred. Because really, vowels is just the way you pronounce it. Like, say like, I say yes, but another dude might say yes. So if I spelled his pronunciation, not the word he was trying to say, but if I was spelling his pronunciation so I can actually paint the picture for his voice to someone else, that's the real way of writing some shit, right? Damn. Yeah, that's that's the real way of writing some shit. So you got the so yes, yeast, they're the same thing if you was to write it in the pronunciation that was abbreviated, right? So that means that's the vial. I mean, the vial is just showing you its connection. Tomato, tomato. Feel me? So the thing about that is, the Greek word meaning flesh consuming, which was sacrophagus, because of the the phagus. But all they did was just change the word around. Now I'm seeing, like they did with anything else. So sarco is really still sacro. It's just switched the R is supposed to be before the C. Really, a C is a G. But I'm about to do all that though. But like Greeks believe that word, right? The sacrophagus, believed there was a kind of stone thought to consume the flesh of corpse. So it was used for coffins. Sarcophagus. What was used? What material is used for sarcophagus? Marble, right? What's in marble? Graphite, right? I believe. Sulfur, all that shit. Alright, so sarcophagus meaning flesh eater in Greek is a coffin for inhumation burials. Inhumation burials widely used throughout the Roman Empire starting in the 2nd century AD. The most luxurious were marble, but they were also made of other stones, lead, and wood. RR1, all that shit. That's really color spectrums, like codes for colors and shit. Feel me? That's why I gotta stay on it, cause it's learn together, bro. Fucking bullshit. I ain't know no enemy shit. It's just I like to know who the fuck I'm fucking with first. Cause when you realize it's not fucking you, bro, that you gotta realize it was you. But then once you clear all that shit out, you realize what is you and what's not of you. So when attacks try to come to you out of nowhere, it could be somebody trying to do witchcraft on you, bro. You don't never fucking know, bro. Like that's why you have to know thyself, because your brain is going to sync back to knowing thyself, and when shit like that pops up, it's gonna be like a beacon, a signal, frequency that's just gonna light up, and you're gonna feel it like goosebumps. Goosebumps is your aura. You just can't see it yet. Why would hair rise on your on your uh on your body? Why would your ether rise on your body or your carbon? Why would it rise? Same thing when you step on the ground. You make carbon footprints, like how they say they did on the moon. That footprint left alone is like you touching your eye like this. Tell it what to do. Use your telepathy, which is just your synchronism to whatever you're trying to synchronize to. Connect. You are everything. I am everything. Everything is me. Type shit. Walk outside, appreciate everything around you. Cause I don't know about y'all, but I learned from nature. The trees, the way it blew, taught me how to move, control the life force in me. And you started saying what Bruce Lee be saying and shit. Cause I ain't go to karate. I mean, I didn't take classes, whatever. But something I noticed, if you believe and just synchronize that in you in a good intent, it'll manifest in the physical. Because it's your nervous system. That's part of controlling your atoms and your state. But your atoms is also outside of you when you connect to universe DNA. Your atoms is outside of you. So now when you're thinking like that, that's your nervous system too. Reason they have to fuck with nature, to fuck with you. They have to do it at the same time. Mentally, physically. They fuck with the air, they fuck with the food, they fuck with the light. But the thing is, when you connect to nature, they bring light to you, and you bring light to them. So when you tell them, rise up with me, the energy rises up. You tell air, we can't have this poison and not air. You tell water that too. You tell all the elements that. Just believe. Just believe, bro. Just believe, bro. Yeah. Another word for sarcomere. Another word for sarco is sarcomere. Another term using sarc that you may have heard is a sarcomere, an anatomical for a part of a certain muscle. Now we know that sarco means flesh. The second mere means part. So sarcomere means part of flesh. That's what I meant by the leg, like that muscle in your leg area, right? So sarco also appears in the Sarco Sutras, the name of a distinct relative of a crocodile that clocked at 350 feet and nearly 10,000 pounds. The formidable supercroc lived 100 million years ago, Africa and South Africa. That is really, yeah, Africa, but you gotta remember, the East Coast, or pretty much Florida in a way, to a certain extent, the South, is really, it's all connected to South America. And South America is like, so I said South America, I'm tripping. Yes, when you know what that's close to. So boom. Survival involved where the giant reptiles is popularly called sarco. Sutras is used to form genus names of extinct reptiles resembling crocodiles in form. Sutras is used to form genus names of extinct reptiles resembling crocodiles in form. I repeat again. I repeat again. Sutras is used to form, I don't even know if I spelled that right, but genus of names of extinct reptiles resembling crocodiles in form. Mm. So I typed in lead and this shit popped up. Ah, ah, ah. No, no, bruh. No, bruh. This shit I mean, bruh. I'm so sorry for the profanity. Dang. I mean, bruh. Like, damn. Alright. So now I gotta talk about that. I feel like I named this Nicole. Ah, man. Fuck. Fuck them. Alright. Look, alright, so boom. Sutras used to form a genus name of distinct reptiles resembling crocodiles in the form. New Latin from ancient Greek. Sokas, the crocodile god Sobek, from Egyptian Sobek. Was that Seth? Let me look that up. So boom. Alright, so Ko, right? He got the SAR is out the way. And how they use the words and why they use the word SARS with it. Alright, so what is suspect medication? Psychiatry used the second medication to alleviate the side effects of another medication. Means compound. Means cardiac output carbon monoxide. Hmm. Right. Hold on. How the fuck? Where did he get lead 65.48 from? Cause that just threw me off. Like seriously. I think it was on something. But it's not a fucking coincidence. Alright, so this IP address, that right there, government, uh, not government, uh, the ones who still riding low key, but just move smarter. Y'all ain't going to be talked about, cause y'all smart. Y'all moving the way y'all supposed to move. When it comes down to this at a certain time, cause everybody ain't on it yet. But the ones, this is what I'm saying. Uh, 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 like, they know what the fuck's gonna happen. Uh, like, that's why the clouds is up now, cause they need more time. But they said, okay, we're gonna cloak the shit up some more, then we're gonna do it at nighttime, and cloak it up some more at nighttime, so, cause everybody's seeing us in the daytime, and it's making us hot. So since they making us hot during the daytime, we gonna go in the cloud, but we gonna put some more clouds up, so they can just not see shit in the sky. And then when it falls from the plasma gonna hit the goddamn clouds, and then the clouds is gonna fall. Like, they some fucking assholes, bro. Like, that ass, bro. It needs heat to even generate goddamn cold. But that's gonna come from above it. Like, and then once it, like, gets on certain shit, it's just around. It's gas, nigga. It's like being in a goddamn hot box or some other shit in your air. Like, but this is a proxy connection, bro. It's a proxy connection with a recent spam. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Alright, this is what I'm trying to say. Alright, hold on, go back. So, boom. This is what I'm reading. I gotta look at the video before to see where I got that from. Because I really don't know where I got that from. It's an IP address dealing with computers. So, a proxy connection and is associated with recent spam, blacklist activity, or abusive behaviors. IPQS proxy detection. IPQ. Hold up. Oh, Alright, so here's what I'm trying to say. That the same shit sounds like this. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. The same shit like that sounds like this. autonomous program on the internet or another network that can interact with systems or users. Not robot, that's the first, right? Because that's how you control the robot, right? With an autonomous program on the internet and other networks that can interact with system users. A person calls his teammate or enemy a bot, meaning a noob or rookie. This is what scientists do. So when that scientist did some lipoprotein transfer to study on your genetic codes, they're studying on their genetic codes to download it to whatever the fuck they got going on behind the scenes on another part of the realm. 4 states, 2 parallels, 3 alternates, big 9. A person calls his teammate or enemy a bot, meaning a noob or a rookie. Noob, new, Omicron better. That's all I saw. So look, a noob, right? So bot, that's the meaning of bot. See it on this shit. Right? So, alright, so the meaning of bot resembles the meaning of cron. And this is the time of around when they first said Omicron. They usually do it like August. So this new variant, like they did, they gonna make it a pretty much an issue by next month or January. Pretty much soon. You see how they're trying to rise the fear, right? Because all it's doing is bringing certain people back down mentally that's not there yet. So, cron is a scheduler or timer that automatically starts a job, program, or task. Cron is most suitable for scheduling repetitive tasks. Cron Cron name originates from the word chronos, Greek word for time. And during this time period was never the way time was explained. Time was measurements of the quantum energy that you're a part of. So really you could be doing some internal shit right now. But like you have to get back on tune. But the thing is, like when you do that fasting, take your spiritual walk, that's for permanent downloads. Right? But you supposed to go through the cycle and not against the cycle 360 for the full 360. Right? And the last 90 degrees of that is the strongest when you have to really stay in tune with, because that's when they come while their religions and holidays and weather and people dying, like election coming up, somebody else really about to die too. It's like it's like watching a predictable ass fucking movie now, bro. This shit lame, Slim. Like this shit is fucking lame, Slim. Like, like it's like watching some predictable ass shit, bro. That's all, Slim. Like some predictable ass shit. It's like you're seeing a predictable ass bitch or dude, bro. Nigga, whatever you want to say, bro. It's predictable ass shit, bro. Cause niggas is on the same game plan, bro. Like You have to literally break the veil. The veil is syllables of devil. The fuck? Gotta break that shit, bro. Like, fuck them. Like, I low key just cried in front of y'all, and I ain't even bring that shit up. Like, I'm smiling and everything. Like, bro, I'm not on that shit, bro. Release, keep going. Fuck. Because at the same, like, in the end of the day, like, you could dwell on some shit that's hurting, or you can just understand the situation. Because when you understand the situation and you're already attached to that thought, that means that you're gonna let go of that. You're gonna try to let go of that shit. But if you keep dwelling on it, then you're re-inviting that same fucking energy, nigga. So like, you just gotta stay with it. Like shadow work, nigga. It's shadow work every second. So like, so look, um, let's get to these clouds. If I could find this equation real quick. Cause it's this movie, right? I wonder if they got a clip on YouTube. Cause nobody talks about it. Revolution. Netflix show. They show some shit on that. That shit cool as hell, y'all. Like, that a black dude on here, that voodoo and shit. But I think he was like a voodoo priest. Really seemed like he was the only black dude. I don't remember. But it was like the same time it's going down, like in reverse pretty much. 2 is to 7. So like I said in another video, they're trying to reverse. No, I just said this to somebody, bro, in a comment. Using Elon's name. That's what it was. Elon's name. Elon's Musk's name, right? Oh yeah, y'all check this out. By revolutionary, because it's 1777, but 777 is really 222, and then it's just in a higher interval. Like we're in the fourth interval. Damn, that's what it is. We're in the fourth interval, like the fourth state. So this is a cycle of supernova type shits, but it's not saying it's gonna be over. It's just gonna go into a higher state. So exactly what I mean. It won't work. Cause it ain't over till I say it's over. Till I say it's over. Yo, that song actually go hard. Alright, so boom. So look. Check out Rashad Jamal, right? Video with the calcium carbonate with the red iron oxide. I think they got this shit on 5D. A little short clip. If you didn't see like the whole, like the real life. So like, getting back to that, right? I'm gonna pick up and elaborate on that shit. So look, is this shit froze? I'm gonna pick up and elaborate on that. So calcium carbonate, right? Nanoparticles. This is cloud spray vaccine. Calcium carbonate nanoparticles anchored graphene oxide. Right? This is the whole compound of a already chemical compound that they put together. So calcium carbonate, that's 1, 2. Then graphene oxide, 1, 2. But that makes it for the 4 states. But calcium has, like, this whole shit got 2 alternates, like I said. I mean, 2 parallels to 3 alternates and 4 states. That's hard. Remember that. 'Cause that's the big 9. So look, but the thing is, you just can't get stuck of me saying that one thing and just be dead on one thing. This is part of, say, either thing. So look, um, calcium carbonate nanoparticles anchored graphene oxide. Tricky freezer. Graphene oxide X calcium carbonate. The morphology, crystal size, and particle size of calcium carbonate were evaluated using X-ray diffractions and environmental scanning electron microscope. The laser particle size analysis, the results showed that addition that goal was to promote the conservation of calcium carbonate to calcite crystals phase with higher thermal stability and crystallinity than the control. However, as dosage of Go increased, the growth of calcite crystal particles was somewhat suppressed, resulting in a decrease in the crystal particle size and narrow particle size distribution. When the amount of Go was 0.21% and 2%, the crystal size of the calcite was 5.49%, 12.38%, and 24.61%. Lower than the sample without Go, respectively, while the particle size of the calcite also decreased by 17, 39, 58, respectively. Calcium carbonate, carbonization, crystal size, graphene oxide, polymorph. And doing it with the air, they're studying on the planet, and now they're studying with your cells. I've always been studying your cells, but now they're studying on the operating system. And that's why I'm thinking, what would give them the idea to even think that, knowing or saying a boom's coming, but then they know a boom's coming and they're moving like like they know a boom's coming. But they still got some shit going on. Like the electricity is going to connect still. And that's when it's going into the Tesla shit. So Elon E Epsilon is like cough, right? The cough symbol. So what that bitch at? Alright, so it's like a cough symbol. So say this is the planet, right? This is the sun, right? You got Sirius, right? Boom. It's a light because the cough is like that. I mean, like that, right? But when you put one on top, you got that. Boom. Then you got another one. Boom. Then you got another one. Boom. So you got one level, two level, three level, boom. With two parallels, three alternates, making 12. Now your Z, the constellations, when they hit, comes like, well, the energy that they're using to hit the planet is a Z because you have the Z, and them Z's make pyramids, right? Which are delta, but delta is stands for UV. So UV is like the intensity, right? Because the higher the UV, the higher the charge. So the thing about the moon, when they say Anunnaki used gold, they was bringing gold back to the on the moon. Like the moon is plasma, bro. So look, they trying to fight that shit. Oh God, like they trying to fight that shit. Talk about war. They're trying to fight that shit, bro. So it was either that ain't the real one no more, or something. Right? The thing is, serious like, or in other words, um, series A, B, C, and X comes through the light that we receive on this planet. So it's four alternates, right? It's a higher self and a lower self, right? One, two. That's another line of the parallel. That's one line. This one, two, left, right. That's one line, right? So look, Z, you got four Z's in your body, which makes 12 lines. Hold on, bro. You make 12 Z's in your line that goddamn connected to your shit. So, say it go this way. You do the opposite shit. Boom. I did the same thing. So you go the opposite way. Because it's a cycle, right? Now them Z's is connecting, it's making pyramids. But pyramids make vortexes, right? To connect to your organs, right? As your DNA repairs itself, it goes back to that 12, right? But the 12 represents Christ-like or rebirth energy because 12 is 3. Bring you back to balance, right? So the really how them coughs is how your cells is, like I said. But that's how the stars is. Reflection. That's how the stars is. Let's get it back to where it was. Alright. That's how the stars is. Well, the planetary, this is really what the planetary alignment is about because it's about the light and heat that hits from, and that's hertz, and then the direction it proceeds in the delta because of the cycle is part of different cycles. It's, then there's other species that are a part of our cycle in a different state. You feel me? You'd be surprised a goddamn octopus break, right? Uh, they come from, that's, thing is, part of the sun was manipulated. The land of Mu was manipulated. So goddamn, that being said, since it got manipulated, they were still manipulating it. That was part of their takeover, right? And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, Mu might be getting, the land of Mu might be getting manipulated wherever it's located. And that's where the base is. Because below, they have a base, right? But they have to connect above. So if they're fucking with the Mu new energy, this is for the ones that's gonna go get their ass. Hopefully one day you see this. Look, you, the Mu land is connected to Mu, and it's on our side of the grid, or which you would say west 9. That being said, damn, yeah, because the frequency would be lower because that light is connected to an element. So like, uh, so that being said, um, Mu is connected to that, so they have to have something, yeah, in the ocean that connects above, because it has to connect to above and below for them to do whatever the fuck they're even doing with CERN. But the thing about CERN is in the new land, right? Because moon is moon, or like moon, 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 right? That's why them animals that ooh fucks with your goddamn your your womb, your, you feel me? Your womb. Hey, nah, red meat be fucking with that shit, right? Or your periods and shit, right? So look, uh, there's something in that shit too. Look, um, I got off track. Alright, so boom. So I'm trying to pick this down. Look, this shit is weird, bro. Alright, so like, yeah, to connect above, you have to connect below. Because to even go up is to rise. So your frequency as it gets higher, that's more heat. But that's the type of heat that travels in waves of light. And light is from the element within you. Shit. So look, um, let's get back to this. So, oh yeah, no, let's get back to this. So yeah, the cough is like your cells. I'm looking at too much shit. The cough is like your cells, right? But when you put it to the tilt, it's like an elliptical, right? So say this is the Sirius constellation shining bright. Boom, that energy comes down, right? Comes down some more, and then comes to us. And then whatever is, because that's like, the sun is like 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the sun is like 7, 8, 9. We are like 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is the middle going backwards or going forward, counting 1 through 9. So that's just the middle period, 5 and 6. So 5 is on move, 6 is on new, right? And that's where they got CERN at. But part of the thing is they have to manipulate the air because Adam and Eve represents air, the four elements. It represents the same thing as like Shu and Tefnut. So you got Shu, the son of Ra, uh, god of the air and the winds, like that. That's like some of a new, right? And then you have the feminine energy, where it comes from above and below. But the thing is, they dimmed out the feminine energy on Kai. So when you destroy some land that was connected above, it dims out the light above, right? So now they're trying to do is destroy the shit that's connected above. If not, make it better. Because to make a sustainable planet, you have to heat it up, right? But I feel like the clouds was actually how the particles that reflect back up to the magnetic sphere, which really would break it, but it throws dust back into that area. So it could be like maybe creating a new one, right? But during the time of the opening is an awakening. So you will know what to do when it's time to go to war. But because this is war, people are waking up to the war we in. You're waking up in the dream you in. Like you was somewhere else before you came here to the dream, and you just like, niggas ain't about to be scared of this dream no more, bruh. This shit's getting too real, bruh. Like, no, but I'm tired of this shit. Like, niggas tired of nightmares, bro. And a whole nother parallel, cause it's 3 alternates to you, bruh. Even your lower self tired of that shit. Your lower self, your higher self, and your balance self is just like, y'all niggas work together and get rid of these niggas. Feel me? Because if it can come in unity, then your sub and your subconscious could bring light to a situation, be the light in the darkness. Because my eyes, the sun always shine at night. Feel me? It always fucking shine. So look, going back to the goddamn equation, right? Because the X, alright, so calcium carbonate nanoparticles, anchored graphene oxide sheet nanohybrid, are fabricated and their structure can be measured by scanning electron microscope, transmission, electron microscopy, X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy, X-ray diffractions, and Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy analysis. Afterwards, composites, epoxy coatings filled with gold and gold CO3 nanoparticles are prepared via are prepared during a curing process. The dispersion and anti-corrosive properties of composite epoxy coating are investigated. The results reveal that gold CaCO3 nanohybrids achieve a homogeneous dispersion as well as reinforce corrosion resistance of epoxy coating. Furthermore, the anti-corrosive mechanisms are tentatively proposed for the Go CaCO3 slash epoxy coatings. Epoxy is a family of basic components or cured end products of epoxy resins. That be that black shit you be seeing in the water or coming, if it be on you or anything. Like, I've been seeing it everywhere. So, don't cap. So, look, the products of epoxy resins, it be in your saliva too. And that's what, when it fuck with the air like that, the clouds, because they fall. So, once you breathe it in, it gets stuck in your mucus because most likely, if you get sick a lot, you're on a mucus like diet. And even if you don't get sick a lot and you just be outside under these clouds when it's too cloudy and there's no sun and the clouds just sit in there and they just look straight white and pasty to the point when you look at the clouds it's kind of bright because it's absorbing all that plasma. Right. So that's that epoxy coating, right? Because you have to put it at a higher state, right? And the only thing that can get it in a higher state in that because of that heat to put it in like plasma or like gas because it's gonna be them two, the plasma and the gas, like because of the heat, that jet fuel that makes it at a higher state, but it falls in frequency, and as it's falling in frequency, it's really meant to be up like a fucking dome, like them clouds, right? And then the dark clouds come from the the hydrogen being fucking tampered with the graphene and all that extra shit, and the calcium carbonate, right? Because that affects your bones and all of that. Because really, your bones are really like crystals and wood. The reason why with the sarcomenes they was using wood, they was using wood and got the sarcophagus, whatever. So So let's get it. The results reveal that gold CaCO3 nanohybrids achieve a homogeneous dispersion of as well as reinforced corrosion resistance of epoxy coating. Furthermore, the anti-corrosive mechanisms are tentatively proposed for gold CaCO3 epoxy coatings. Epoxy is the family basic component or cured end products of epoxy resins. Epoxy resins, also known as polypoxides, remember that word because you're going to see it a lot trying to actually discover what the fuck been going on. So, epoxy resins, also known as polypoxides, are a class of reactive polymers which contains epoxide groups. The epoxide functional groups is also collectively called epoxy. The Lupoc name for epoxide groups is oxyane, oxane, oxylane. What is that an R? My bad. I was writing too fast. I think it's oxyrane. Let's look that up. There's not that many fucking letters. Oxy. Yup, oxyrane. Being. That's why really, if we was in a box, it'd be a parallelogram, right? And then you can get all them shapes that you're looking for. Depends. So look, and plus parallelogram, parallel, Gemini, connecting above and below. Let's get it. Hood sciences. Look with me. Alright, so look, epoxy dust. Alright, so the epoxy dust never breathe the sanding dust. This is what I was meaning, Florida. So the calcium carbonate nanoparticles that's anchored with graphene oxide and 5 natural elements that's already in the air. Boom. So and water, because hydrogen and carbon is really the natural thing. So boom, you mess with the connection, you mess with the air because it actually travels through the air, right? So you're messing with the atom, and now you're messing with Eve, right? So look, all right, you know what was the name of the last hurricane that came? Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian meant gift of God. Zeno, like how I was showing the definition about earlier in Quran, Zeno means gift of God, or gift of God, or gift from Zeus. And then gift of God is gift of Zeus. That energy was about to hit that area naturally with no natural disasters at all. If anything, some melted waters or something. Other than that, it was just about to get hot as fuck over there, right? But they wanted, the thing is like, it's not just the U.S., even though the U.S. is a part of it, but they have to like be part of it at the same time, because it's like, I mean, they're definitely part of it. Definitely part of it. They be doing this shit. They be making this shit. But it's like, they not the only ones. So you got Eurasia, India, Turkey, all that shit. Then they got some shit set up in Africa by Nigeria. Really, that's where they got Azetabe from. The lipoprotein, Nigeria. They stole it from the Ezo tribe, right? So Ezo tribe, one of the first tribes in Nigeria, which is tied to like uh, indigenous or native, or tied to native, and then you have your Oma, which meant the same thing, which was your not indigenous, but your Oma was like your indigenous or your native. So Africa is really like the connector of the Americas, also like the East Coast, but really it's in reverse, because they, that's too much to go into right now, because deals with a cycle. It's going different ways. It's just alright, but yeah, like these clouds, right? Alright, so these clouds be going, they do the chemtrails along this the current cycle above with the air, and then you have the current cycle that's below on Kai with the water, right? But the thing is, when you say one element, that one element is not always dealing with one element, is dealing with the other four, really the other five. Or if you want to go even deeper, the other 6 or 7, right? So like, it's always dealing with another piece. You realize your blood is definitely a piece when you realize you are everything and everything is you. Like, that's what happens. So that being said, Ethylene oxide is an organic compound with the formula C2H3O. It is a silicic ether in the simplest epoxide, a three-membered ring consisting of one oxygen atom, two carbon atoms. Ethylene, ethylene oxide is colorless and flammable gas with a faintly sweat odor. Exposure can cause headaches, nausea, vomiting, dizziness. This is the negative effect of certain shit, but a lot of it is coming from the sun too and the frequencies. Following chronic long-term health effects can occur at some time after exposure to ethylene oxide and can last for months or years. Cancer hazard. What is ethylene used for? Ethylene oxide is mostly commonly used in production of other chemicals, including the production of solvents, antifreeze, detergent, adhesives, polyurethane foam, and pharmaceuticals and solvents that act like antifreeze. Your antifreeze is for your sub-zero technology, which makes fucking cold. That's why it's supposed to be hot. That's why when I speak like this, the sun pops right through the fucking clouds. And when you talk about epoxy dust, nigga, that's epoxy dust, nigga. So look, hold on. Yeah, so that's epoxy dust, nigga. Sun popping up. Let's get it. Let's get it. But the thing is, they start doing it at night more. So when it comes during the day, you be like, oh, it looks like it's gonna rain. Well, it was cold outside, so now you're sweating. So now your pores is open. So when the sun hits on top of it and clears it off, that's making the air quality shitty, first of all. Then second, your pores is open. And depending on the way you treat your fucking body mentally and physically, it affects you or not. So the best thing to do is to get on your fast if you ain't been in your shit. Cause that lactic acid, the sun, the heat, none of that shit's fucking with it. It's gonna make, I'm trying to tell you, sorry the way I ain't sorry. I'm coming off like this for a reason though. Like, it's going to be a negative effect and you're the variant. Like, for those who, like, either way, ones that's not trying to listen and be stuck in their old ways, this shit going on too. Cause yeah, the UVC can be a human detoxifier, but it will also work in the reverse if you're not on your shit. So then that will form cilia and like pimples, but it's gonna be a different type of pimple. It's gonna be goddamn um pimple times goddamn 9, nigga. Like whatever you think how a pimple will be, that's gonna be the pimple times 9. Like you be like, your joint look like nasty times not 10 or some shit. Yeah, bro. That's what I mean. Like, cause if you still eating that shit that produces that in your skin, and then you have the clouds falling on top of it, then the sunlight interacting with it with your cells, and it's getting in your cells. Because this is the sodium channels they're trying to block. They're trying to block your blood, your plasma, and your fucking melanin. Because that's ties to your life force. And there has to be one more. It has to be one more. Your third eye. Because what deals with that light is your pit organ. Not saying you're a snake, but I'm saying your kundalini represents the pit organ. Your third eye represents your kundalini. The snake that was going up the spine represents the kundalini because of the pit organ. You receive the mark of God through the single eye. Your first eye is the gland. So the gland was made for infrared light, for X-ray light, just like your glands in your hands. So if you just want to use symbolism, how do you think any hands got bronze, nigga? From getting dirty? No. You can literally put your hands when you put your hands towards the light and hold it, it gets tan, but it becomes permanent as you keep absorbing, right? Right? But you don't want to absorb your body in junk unless you're trying to get rid of it. Like you're trying too fast, you're trying to do something good, not go back to the same shit, because you go back to the same shit, it's gonna be even worse. I mean, it might be better. Like say like it might be better when you eat that shit and you still feel better, but you're gonna keep continuing to eat it and it's gonna no, bro. So like, bro, don't fall, bro, cause just stay on it. So look, cause the definition of spectroscopy is a tool used for studying the structures of atoms and molecules. The large numbers of wavelengths emitted by these symptoms make it possible to investigate their structures and details, including their structures and details includes electron configurations of ground and various excited status, simply meaning the study of absorption and emissions of light and other radiation by matter. There's four states to your matter, and there's four elements to that matter. The main ones, four, but five is plasma, heart. But I'm gonna say plasma, solar. So boom, which is the twin of the heart, just like sacral is the twin of the root. Once you combine them, they make higher frequencies. That's higher in a higher self. So look, the alright. So simply meaning the study of absorption and emission of light and other radiation by matter as related to the dependence of these processes on the wavelength of radiation. That's dealing with your alpha, beta, gamma, meta, all that. Feel me? Because gamma, mu, kappa stands for CME shit. Like, so, them symbols, that's another topic. But look, alright, so three types of spectroscopy is the main types of atomic spectroscopy includes atomic absorption spectroscopy, atomic emissions spectroscopy, and atomic fluorescent spectroscopy. Fluorescent is like most of these fucking stars you be seeing. So you're gonna see the real ones. I just see them in the real constellation. So boom. Alright, so let's get it. The spectroscopy is the study of the absorption and emission of light and radiation by matter. It involves the splitting of light, or more precisely, electromagnetic radiation, into its constituent wavelengths, a spectrum which is done in much the same way as prism splits light into a rainbow of colors. Inhaling the produced fumes or dust can affect throat, lungs, nose, throat. High amounts, a repetitive exposure to those fumes can cause asthma and sensitization. That's what it was tying down to with the epoxy dust. Never breathing the sanding dust of partially cured epoxy. So your clouds is partially cured epoxy because the other shit is poison. So look, when you inhale, epoxy chemicals remain reactive until they have cured, which is when they have fallen. When you inhale the dust particles, they become trapped in the mucus lining of your respiratory. Reactive material can cause respiratory irritations or respiratory allergies. And that's the thing about the Zetabe, right? Because when they wanted to spike your proteins for the mRNA, they spiked your proteins because they already knew you was intaking a lot of other animal DNA, which they use animals, fetuses and DNAs for their medicines. So them saying that's what you consume, right? That's why they told you to eat the shit, so it can match up with their medicines, right? From their science, from their alchemy, it's gonna match up. So that's why you're supposed to be eating what matches up to you. But the thing is, even other animals, I mean, any other species that's eating what they think they should be eating, align according to that, that's off because you're on a planet. It's a planet. It's a planetary diet. Plant diet. Nigga. Planetary diet. So your diet is not gonna work being a god in a god body, right? So look, that shit's not gonna cut it with the sun, cause the sun ain't gonna fuck with it. It's gonna make cause your cells ain't able to fuck with the sun. That's why it's not gonna fuck with it, cause the cells it's not allowing you. And then certain people is just not gonna be allowed. Period, just because the structure is not built for it. Like period. The only thing that helps is when you get your physical aligned with the planet by consumption, right? The reason why they try to consume people like me. So like, uh, thing is, they might force you to even eat your own the shit that you've been eating. So when you're doing that, that's taking too much carbon in. That's like, yeah, that's like taking too much carbon in. When you put a face mask on, that's too much carbon. When a goddamn octopus sprays his black ink at his enemy, but if it it kills them off with that carbon he's just shot off at him, right? But if that, which is also a moon species, right? Because when they got the ass kicked from doing fucked up shit anyway. So look, so but thing is about an octopus, if the octopus is trapped in its own ink, it will fuck with its respiratory and give him allergies. That's why you always see a octopus sneezing or got the cold, because it would give them it would be the same thing like how the clouds do. But the thing is with that shit, that the Zetabe or the tetraoxidant is like two different high cholesterol drugs that attack one side and the other side, and that close up your sodium channels. So that's like making a dam in the Mississippi River. The only reason the Mississippi dried up is because they have these dams, right? It's not supposed to be dams, it's supposed to be part of a cycle. But the thing is, part of a cycle opens portals, it opens, it makes more growth, it makes more production, it makes more elements, it makes more crystals, it crystallizes things because it rises up the heat in the area and the region that is in. So when the heat is hitting that area, is receiving more energy, and is able to rise up higher. It's part of the cycle. So, dang, I just went in. I I didn't even mean to stop, bro. I should boom. I don't know where I was at. So that's what we come to. These carbon compounds are defined as chemical substances containing carbon. More compounds of carbon exist than any other chemical element except for hydrogen. Organic compounds are far more numerous than inorganic carbon compounds. In general, bonds of carbon with another element are covalent bonds. Say that again. So I gotta find the words for this feeling. More compounds of carbon exist than any other chemical element except for hydrogen. Organic compounds are far more numerous than inorganic carbon compounds. In general, bonds of carbon with another element. In general, bonds of carbon, with another element are covalent bonds. Carbon, actually, I ain't saying excuse me no more. Need another word for that. Peace out. Look, carbon is a tetra. In general, bonds of carbon with another element are covalent bonds. Carbon is a tetracovalent, but carbon-free carbon-free radicals. So it doesn't have carbon. So it shouldn't even be mixed in, or is it, or should it? All right. So get back to this. It's that the oxygen. All right. So boom. Carbon is a tetravalent but carbon-free radical. Carbon occur at short-lived intermediates. Ions of carbons are carbon cations. Carbanions are also short-lived. An important property of catenation as the ability to form long chains and rings are alicyclic compounds. It's spelled ALICYCLIC. And an A compound, alpha compound contains one or more all carbon rings which may be either saturated or unsaturated but do not have aromatic characters. Compound alpha compounds, alicylic, oh, whatever that is, compounds may have one or more aliphate sides chains attached. So that's like cyclopropane is the smallest alicylic compound. Acylic compound. So it's like this. All right. Now that's being said, let's get it. All right. So the simplest alicylic compound are monocyclic cycloalkynes, which is cyclopropane, cyclobutane, cyclopentane, cyclohexane, cycloheptane, cyclotane, and so on. Bicyclic alkalines, beta alkalines include bicloudane, bicloudecane, declane, and housane. Polyalkanes, polyalkalines include cubane, basketate, and tetrahedrine. Which is the below effect, and then the high effect is what you be seeing with these tetrahedrons from above. Because light and color has frequencies, and that gives it gives different signals to your body, to your intuition, to the planet, to everything living. Period. So like just like you blow a whistle and the dog get to tripping, that little high pitch when you get to tripping out and shit, shit is the signal ain't fucking with. Right. So look, which made uh which made twitching and seizures, which also can make chronic health effects dealing with your receivers. I mean, you have many receivers, but that's what it's gonna deal with your hearing, right? And these the earwax and shit, right? It's something with this micron, right? These clouds, it's affecting the ear. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a lot of ear infections popping up, plus like bronchitis or some shit like that. But the thing is, that's why I'm telling you, planetary diet, keep the mucus away. Feel me? Keep the mucus away, cause either way it goes, if you're dealing with this shit, it's going to interfere. It can interfere if you're making blockages for it when you breathe it in. If you don't have any blockages for it to stay in your body, then that's like keeping a prisoner that wants to escape. Like, you don't want to be in there, but if you lock him in there, he's gonna stay there. But if you don't want him in there, you gotta get him open. So look, because these compounds deal with homolysis, like we were saying earlier, and heterolysis, and that deals with the xenobot that's in the adiazetabate and the tetraoxidant that fucks with your tetracovalent bonds or your covalent bonds, or they are the covalent bonds. I mean, so look, xenobots. Homolysis is loosening or homolytic fissions and chemical bond associations of a molecular bond by a process where each of the fragment, the atom or molecule retained from the atom or the molecule. This is the thing. They're trying to attack a certain species that's connected to a lot of shit around. But the thing is, a lot of these species, period, is still connected to. So like, the thing is, what did you say about the molecular bonds with the atoms and the molecules? So your nervous system, the only way you even manifest is because your atoms is when you connect to atom, which is your cells, right? You got cells all outside of your body. So the thing is, one brain is controlling one part of that, the outside, and one brain is controlling the inside, right? Your outward and your inside, right? So meaning these atoms that are around you is part of your nervous system. So when that shit turn up, it's supposed to be connecting to your nervous system. So if it can't connect to your nervous system, it's going to fry out your battery, right? Like, it ain't gonna fry. It might spark some shit. It might spark it to be a negative way, or spark it to be a positive way, because all these atoms is about to get charged the fuck up. Period. You're getting charged. Just you being in heat, getting charged. Like you putting your eye and your hand to fire and letting it absorb that heat, even if you don't feel the heat, because really you're not supposed to feel the heat. You're just supposed to feel the flame like a touch. You're not supposed to feel the pain from that. You're supposed to feel like a finger is touching you. Period. You have to come one with fire, because that's when you being scared of. You can know what fire can do, but that's like a gun. You know the gun can do, but if you're scared of the gun, you can hurt yourself with that gun. You know what the fire is. You know you are fire. You know what fire can do. But if you're scared of that fire, would that fire hurt you? If you hurt yourself, if you again going against yourself, you're disconnected. So fire most likely will hurt you. But when you're trying to connect yourself, fire picks up on it. And you have to talk to them. Like, you talk to yourself. That's like talking to fire. Yeah, you talking to, and then somebody else see you talking to fire, they be like, oh yeah, you talking to yourself. You're damn right I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to a piece of me. A piece of me. Because I understand what the fuck the elements is. I understand what the light is. I understand that you're supposed to realize the cycle because you are the cycle. It's a reflection of you. And you're a reflection of it. That's why you have to say it in that way. Like, I am everything and everything is me. Because it's showing respect and giving respect. Like, I mean, it's showing authority and giving authority. Like, still didn't say that right. But, like, I don't know what I mean. Look, so, back to this. During homolytic fissions of neutral molecules with an even number of electrons, two radicals will be generated. That is, two electrons involved with the original bond of distributed between two fragment species. Alright, so the atom by itself, right, or the neuron, right, because that's all cells are, neuron stars, right? So you got your neuron stars, and then you have your black hole stars, or your black dots, the neuromelanated stars, right? You got your black hole stars and your antimatter stars. So look, when you look in the sky and you see little speckles of rainbow dots, those are atoms. Those are neuron atoms or neuron stars, pretty much just floating in your air. So you're breathing that because those you're breathing that in, and it turns into a whole different chemical compound when you release it. So that's why when you breathe it in, and certain people that got that shit in them, they breathe it out, they could spread a sickness through their throat chakra. So because of your heart, no, no, I'm gonna say that. Alright, so boom. The energy involved in this process is called. Oh, no, that's what I meant to say. Alright, so the atoms, they look like rainbow circles, right? But when the two radicals from electrons will be generated with it, they become is a triangle. No, it's a circle. It's a circle rainbow, and then it has two dots on it, like this. It got two dots on it, and they're black. So it makes it look like the Mickey Mouse, like that. So these are the black chunks, right, on these chromosomes. Because at the end of the day, when it's DNA of you, that's how you look at it. These chromosomes or these suns. So look, so now it looks like the Mickey Mouse side, right? But I know they test on mouses to compare to you, that compares to you, and like 2 years later or 2 months, like with these animals and shit. Alright, so boom. The energy involved in this process is called. Alright, so let's reread that. During this homolytic fission of neutral molecules with an even number of electrons, two radicals will be generated. Two radicals, that's meaning more cells. The, that is the two electrons involved in the original bond are distributed between two fragment species. The energy involved in the process is called bond dissociation, BDE, beta delta epsilon. Your beta frequency and your gamma, because delta, no, that's delta, but delta deals with gamma because delta is the stands for the infrared spectroscopy, right? So BDE, bond cleaners. See this nigga, I know where the fuck this shit coming from now. Shit, you gonna die before I even think about doing anything to you. Fucking with me. They're trying to fuck with a frequency, bro, to knock me off my goddamn thought, and I know where it came from. I'm not tripping, I heard it, and I noticed my car was clicking just because of that fucking frequency last night, and I heard the frequency behind it clicking. So I was like, that's my first time out of 100 million fucking clicks. That's the first time I hear that shit. Like, and I just heard that same frequency without the clicking. So that being said, fuck y'all niggas, go to hell. Continue. BD bond cleavage is also possible by a process called heterolysis. Remember, lysis deals with pathology. Lysis is medical terms, pathological blood destruction when the red blood cells begin to die out in your spleen. And when that happens, that's disconnecting your solar plexus, right? And so on as it moves through the cycle in your body. Alright, so the energy involved in this process called bond dissociation, BDE, which stands for beta delta epsilon. Bond or car. Bond cleavage is also possible for a process called heterolysis, which is like this. The AB, I remember that shit in like middle school. That shit. Alright, so that's all I'm saying. Alright, so the bond dissociation is defined as an enthalpy per mole. That deals with frequencies from the sun too. Required to break a given bond of specific molecular entities by homolysis, symbolized as D. So they put the Z, the xeno for the D, right? Let's see what D, capital D, which means delta. What does D means in medical? Deceased, dose, distal, the upper, the valley, dispense. Alright, so boom. Now, since we just said that, let's read what it says. Bond dissociation is defined as enthalpy per mole, frequencies per second, requires to break a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis, symbolized as D. The bond dissociation energy is dependent on the strength of the bond, the strength of your immunoglobulin, which is determined by the factors relating to the stability of resulting radical species. Because relatively high energy requires to break down in this manner, is homolysis occurs primarily under certain circumstances, and this circumstances is light, which is delta, which is what they mean by delta. Delta meant denoting new energy cycle. Variant means changing in one's DNA sequence during cellular subdivision for positive, negative, or nothing changes, which is also the Knights Templar secret when he dealt with the Edomites and the Canaanites, the cannibal Edomites, Canaanites. So the circumstances of bond association energy. Let's read that shit one more time. Bond association energy is defined as enthalpy per mole required to break a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis. Symbolized as D, the bond association energy is dependent on the strength of the bond, which is determined by the factors relating to the stability of the resulting radical species. Because of relatively high energy required to break bonds. So this is eugenics and cytogenetics. So the only way Yakub was able to even do his eugenics and cytogenetics, whatever the fuck he was doing, or like the Mr. Freeze shit, the only way he was able to do that was he was splicing the cells with light, with high visions of light. And really, at that time, that nigga probably was doing it with his hands, because your right hand is your weapon, it's your Zayn. It, as it would say in the Bible, or you receive that, you feel me? Some shit like that. So he was probably just using his power to manipulate shit, which he was. So look, alright, so thing is, the light is what splits the cell. So as the higher the UV goes up, the more cells can be split to duplicate in a positive, or it might duplicate in a negative effect, or nothing's just going to happen at all. But as your cells are duplicating more, that means more of a charge is coming to your fucking body, because that's all it is voltages that you're building up. When you're like, say someone that nerves is going crazy low key, that be your cells, more of a charge, or trying to build a charge, but it might have a blockage. And somebody might smoke a cigarette the whole time, that kills your cells because it makes you chill out a little bit. Feel me? So boom. Or it might help to make it flow. That was the real meaning of nicotine tobaccos, for the blood flow. That's why they smoked it with the weed, because the nicotine made the blood flow, and then the weed helped the cells duplicate itself so it could get more of a charge. But it doesn't do that when your body is not, when your twins aren't balanced, when your two sons within aren't balanced to make the Trinity. It's not going to happen like that. And then the tobacco is already fucked up anyway. And so it's like, but that was the real reason why they used those two for that Trinity, because it made them high. It brought a higher frequency. It brought more cells, because more of a charge make a higher frequency. So like, boom. So let's say, so because of the relatively high energies required to break down the UV, so the higher the UV get, they be trying to put clouds up, they be trying to block the UV, because anything over 3 gives a lot of races melanomas, skin cancer, all types of shit. And then that ties down to what I was telling you about Sarcos. So the thing is, you don't really want to be in these clouds unless you're tapping into nature, because other than that, you're just looking at the shit and then breathing the shit in. Other than that, like, you need to be grounding and raising the frequency up, because you're the X. Just look at my name. It's a triangle down. That means delta down. That's like the light coming down, or the energy coming down, and you're the X, right? Wherever you're at, wherever you're a piece of, is the X. And then the triangle up is representing the energy coming from the planet up, or just the cycle that makes the whole circle anyway. So it's like, that's what's going on. Because of high energy required to break down bonds in this manner, homolysis occur primarily under certain circumstances. So if that shit can't happen because your ocean it looks like a lake, right? filled with trash and all types of shit. When the light starts to hit you, the OO bonds and the dibenzoyl peroxide is cleaved homolytically, distributing a radical to each benzoyloxy. And the benzo was what they fucking put in you that fuck with your better. So the thing is, the heat, light, and heat is the trinity to that part. I mean, it's like the two suns to that part. So like the heat, certain intramolecular bonds such as the OO bond of peroxide are weak enough to spontaneously homolytically dissociate with a small amount of heat. High temperatures in the absence of oxygen, because the oxygen is getting removed. That's why they keep trying to put oxidized shit in the air, because the oxygen is getting removed. So it's going back to hydrogen. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of that shit's getting cut out. And as the sun is hydrogen and helium. So that's why your state of matter can actually rise up because of your cells. So if a nigga thought he couldn't fly, it's only because you breathe in too much oxygen with your hydrogen, which is making your balloon heavy. So if you was to get on a diet that actually gives you more oxygen, like the real oxygen, was the hydrogen you need pretty much to breathe, right? You start experiencing a change in your state of matter. So high temperatures in the absence of oxygen causes paralysis and can induce homolytic eliminations of carbon compounds. So pretty much that homolytic fission, you get them paralysis and like hurting, all that type of shit, or like paralyzed. All of those pyrolysis, feel me? All of that shit deals with each other. So let's see what pyro means by itself. Pyro in medical terms. Combining form denoting fire, heat, or fever. Pyro means fire, heat, fever, chemistry, ortho acid. So pyro means fire, lysis. Fire, high temperatures. Oh, because it's eliminations. Really, your cells supposed to be, your cells duplicate in more heat. So for that to even happen, that means it's doing the opposite. So it's killing out your carbon compounds for it to be able to function right. So then that makes like glitches. So like if you was to see a glitch in a robot, that's how your body will look. So like paralysis type symptoms. Because the light and the heat is the activator to your DNA, but it's also the activator to the xenobots. And it could be your downfall unless you get your physical right and keep your mental right. Even if nothing was to happen, now you're in the right space to actually deal with it. Now you can actually think of in your own way or will get rid of it because it's your body, it's not no one else, it's your body. I'm hungry. Been on his jump for like a couple of hours. I'll let y'all later. Hopefully this can help. Good scientists out.